We started our journey with three numbers. There are 1.2 people sitting in a car on average, driving just about 35 kilometers a day, and this with an average speed of only 30 kilometers an hour. This means that most cars are far over-engineered for what they are actually used for.
So with that in mind, our father founded Micro in 1999 and created a new product category between, let's say, simply walking and bicycling. As you know, the scooter is way faster than walking and more portable than going by bike. And this really created a huge boom in the early years of 2000. And we sold around 80,000 scooters per day in the initial boom phase. And are now still growing every year and selling in up to 80 countries.
Despite having this early success with our first product category, we were still not fully satisfied. Cars are as popular as ever, and there is a pretty simple reason for that. Cars are the only vehicle types that combine weather protectedness, the ability to carry cargo, and the complete flexibility that no other mode of transportation can offer. So we thought, how would the car of the future need to look like, given the actual mobility habits of people? And so we set out to create a new product category for the second time in our company history. It should combine the lightness of micromobility with the three killer features of a car. Something that, like the iPad, would be a new product category between two other product categories and be defining for a specific use case.
So, similar to an iPad, the Microlino combines the advantages of both worlds. And in our case, it's basically a mix between a motorbike and a car. Next slide. Looking at the facts, so the Microlino has a maximum speed of 90 kilometers an hour, and you're able to access any roads, also highways. And this was for us a very important point because we wanted people to have the same flexibility as with a normal car. It has space for two, and what is important is that not like on many other vehicles in our category where you sit behind each other, with the Microlino you have the possibility to sit next to each other, which is just way more customer friendly. In the rear, you have enough space for groceries and also some beer crates to keep you covered over the weekend as well.
All of this is packaged in an emotional, award-winning design inspired by 50s bubble cars. The Microlino is just 2.5 meters long, so this means it can actually cross-park, and you fit 3 Microlinos in one parking space. This is important because in many cities, there's more space devoted to parking than to actual roads. So this too improves the livability of cities. What about range? So the Microlino has a maximum range of up to 230 kilometers. So starting from this conference here, we would get all the way to Stuttgart, which of course for this vehicle is far too much, but we just wanted to illustrate that you have more than enough range than you need. And the coolest thing is you can actually charge it in just 3 to 4 hours on a conventional house plug. So you don't need a specific charging station, just use the same house plug that you use for your smartphone, and you're ready to go in 3 to 4 hours.
So what about eco-friendliness? And we didn't want to compare the Microlino to a normal combustion engine vehicle because, frankly, that would have been way too easy. So we compared it to other electric vehicles, as you can see on the slide here. And also there, a Microlino uses around only a third of the emissions that a normal conventional electric vehicle emits. And why is that? The reason is quite simple. So for normal electric vehicles, the more range you want, the bigger the battery gets and also the heavier the vehicle gets. And so you need much more energy to get from A to B. And this is why we believe that electric micromobility makes the most sense than ever, especially when it comes to eco-friendliness.
So now we talked a lot about the problem we are solving, but how far have we come? So far, we have received more than 27,000 reservations, which amounts to a total value of around 350 million. We have just finished the final homologation tests and are going to start production in the next couple of weeks. So far, we had the luck that we could self-finance all of this, but in the future, there might be the option that we will also take external investors in.
Yes, so to end our presentation, we just want to share with you our vision for micromobility. And if you see the statistics on the slide here, so 90% of trips are below 25 kilometers. And those trips are mostly routine trips, like going to the gym or going shopping. And we believe that in 5 years from now, that most people will cover those distances using a micromobility vehicle. For longer trips, we believe that sharing and also public transport will come to play. So, for example, if you need to go furniture shopping, you may be needing a bigger car with lots of cargo space. If you go skiing, you may be using a 4x4, and so on. So we believe that there's a vehicle for every right purpose, basically.
Great. So we still planned to have a little bit of time for questions, so in case any one of you has questions.
We also have a car over there in the foyer, so if you want to check it out and sit inside, feel free. And I think a last point, our father just released in September his memoir. It's a story about, let's say, micro and also the Microlino project up to, let's say, September this year. So if you want to have a free copy, the man is sitting right in the front. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Don't run away yet. We have 2 minutes for questions. What is the advantage of a Microlino car versus the electrical car? Electrical smart.
So obviously, it's the smart idea, but let's say much better realized, we think. Because the original smart idea was really this light, small electric car. And if you compare a smart to a Microlino, the smart actually weighs double than the Microlino. And so we think the smart is actually over-engineered for what is actually used. And given the price, I mean, in Switzerland, the smart starts at 25,000, whereas we are around 14,000 Swiss francs. So we are also much more affordable because, yeah, we are not over-engineered like the smart is.
And also price-wise makes a big difference.
Any other questions from the audience? Yeah. How do you produce it?
Oh, yeah. You wanna?
Yeah, I mean, in general, so generally we have our own production in Turin, in Italy. And what we are doing is we are basically responsible for the final assembly. So let's say all the body work, etc., is done with a partner and is being supplied, and then we just do the final assembly in Turin. And the production layout, as it is now, has around a maximum capacity of around 10 to 15,000 vehicles per year. So that's what we think as a first step is a good number. But of course, we also believe that the market is much larger than that.
Additional questions? Anything you would like to add, Merlin or Oliver?
Check out the car there. It's the best.
It looks fantastic. Yeah, we saw it on the way in. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Merlin. This was